Hello friends and welcome back. Today we're going to get started on the mini-series with the A3. If you watched my previous episode, I kind of went through everything that needs to be done with the A3. I actually took the time to clean up the garage while I was at it, but I got all of our parts set up, ready to go. I'll show you guys kind of what we're going to go through. A3 is going to have a ton of work that needs to be done, but thankfully because everything is kind of in the same area, in the same place, we don't have to take things apart multiple times. We'll just take it apart once and we can do multiple jobs while all of that is up. So I'll go ahead and kind of show you guys what we've got going on, and we'll go ahead and get started. So these are all the boxes of parts that we're going to be playing with. You can see some of them are fun parts, while others are not necessarily all the fun parts. But anyway, first order of business is going to be timing chain stuff. You can see right there, that's the diaphragm for the PCV system. We'll go ahead and get that taken care of. But yeah, the rest of that is all timing chain stuff, new serpentine belt. And then while we're at it, we're also going to be taking care of the flywheel. It's starting to vibrate a little bit, but underneath that we have control arms. These are the flanges. And then we've got some transmission fluid stuff. We'll go ahead and do a DSG fluid change after that's all done and put together. And then there you can see the boxes for my axles. And then I have some coilovers that I'm really excited to put on from a company called ISC Suspension. And then I've got my lower control arms, and then some bump steer correction ball joints that pair up with those. They're the same brand. Those are they're both Super Pro. I just bought those used, very low mileage, and then these I bought new. Well, like I said, it's a decent amount of work. I'm actually excited to get going with it. First thing I think we're gonna do is I'm gonna break it up. Let's see if I can get the lighting here. I'm gonna break it up into a few different stages. I don't want to try to do this all in one go. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to get the intake manifold removed. I'll actually show you guys here. So normally when removing these intake manifolds, it's recommended that we pull the whole front end out. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do the intake manifold without pulling the front clip. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to preserve as much of the fluids as I can, which means that if I were to pull the front end, I would have to disconnect the coolant, because obviously the radiator's here and then we've got hoses going in. There is a way to pull it out and kind of give yourself a little bit more room. That'll be my worst case scenario type of thing that I'll end up doing. If I'm not able to release the intake manifold without giving myself that amount of space, then we'll go ahead and just do that. But otherwise, I think I do want to try to do it as is. Like I said, we're going to get that out, so we're going to take the intake manifold, and then possibly the valve cover. That might be the easiest one. And then from there we'll go down to the transmission, pull the transmission out, we'll do the timing chain, we'll put the flywheel on, transmission will go on. Actually, like before the transmission goes on, that's when we will do the flanges, we'll put the new axles on, and I'll probably do the suspension at the same time. So we'll go ahead and see how much of this we can get done, and I'll try to show you guys as best as I can here. Alright, so with the intake out of the way, we can start trying to take out part of the wiring harness, all the stuff that's kind of around there and in the way. And then I can try to show you guys where the bolts are located for the intake manifold. They're kind of curled in and underneath, and I'll show you guys here in a second. The bolts are down here, so it curls in like this. This is how it goes in. And the reason that they suggest taking this out is because you effectively have to come in under the intake manifold and straight in to get the bolts. So we're going to try to not do that, and we're going to see how well that's going to go. Well, that didn't go entirely as planned. I already broke two things, but I'll show you guys that real quick. At the very least, we got everything out of the way, so now I'll start trying to get the intake manifold out, which is going to be fun. Alright, so here's the first piece. This I kind of figured was probably going to break. Super brittle, but this comes from the back of the valve cover. From that PCV spot. Yeah, snapped right there. I figured I was probably going to break a lot of things. There's a lot of parts that are going to be brittle, so I'm expecting to break some. I'm just hoping I don't break a ton, or something that just leads into some bigger job. But I mean, later on we should have so much of this taken apart that it really shouldn't matter, and we should be able to get to everything pretty easily. But yeah, let's go ahead and try to get that intake manifold off now. Well, this is not at all what I wanted to see. Yeah, that really sucks. Yeah, that looks absolutely terrible. And the other ones don't look any better. I'll leave these here because I want to number them. Like, what is that? I have no idea what that is. And I'm not looking forward to this. It looks like there's dirt inside of the spark plug holes. So that's a problem. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to take all of that out because I'm not gonna be able to take the spark plugs out and risk getting in anything inside the combustion chamber. That'll end up being a whole other problem in itself. So yeah, we've got that to look forward to. So as you can see, we could clearly take the intake manifold without taking the front bumper off. Now, would I recommend it? Probably not. It's doable, but you'd be better off just taking the front clip off. Or even just putting it in service mode. But anyway, wouldn't recommend it. It does require a lot of patience. It does also require a little bit of hand dexterity. There's quite a few tight spaces, and I'll kind of just see if I can show you some stuff. But what I want to draw my attention to So like I tried to show you guys earlier, so first of all of this looks absolutely disgusting. I have no idea what this is. What is this? There's definitely sand in there. I don't understand. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what would cause that. I have never taken any of this apart before. This one looks absolutely disgusting. So I genuinely, I'm kind of at a loss for words, really. Yeah, they look like they're just filled with sand. But yeah, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I have no idea what any of that is about. I don't know how that happens. I don't know where that comes from. I also don't know how I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna have to find some kind of brush, like a pipe cleaner or something, try to break as much of that out. I'm gonna see if I can vacuum it out. I might try to use like a cleaner or something. I don't know, picks. I mean, it's not the end of the world, obviously, but it is a problem because if I'm gonna replace the spark plugs, I gotta make sure that those cylinder bores are clean. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for tonight. We'll end this one here. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift the car up, put it on jack stands, and do all that fun stuff, and start working towards taking the transmission off so we can do the timing chain. Once we do that, everything else should, don't quote me, but it should be smooth sailing. We'll find out. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It's nice to be back. Nice to start wrenching again, and I will catch you guys in the next video.